Hello, my name is Lisa Giannangeli. I am the Director of MBA Admissions at the Stanford Graduate School of Business, and I'm also an alumna of the Stanford MBA program as well. I've been in my role in admissions for coming up on 10 years now. As you may know, there are a number of different forms of graduate education opportunities within management in the U.S. And it's really up to the individuals to figure out which types of programs best meet their needs. So there are one-year options, two-year options, full-time, part-time, executive. There are also some shorter certificate options, sometimes for more experienced leaders in business, and sometimes for people who are maybe very early on in their careers but are looking for some additional information in a certain discipline or a certain area. So as you're considering maybe a one-year program versus a two-year program, one of the things I would consider is, are you perhaps thinking of a career switch or a career change, whether it's from a geographic perspective or functional or industry perspective. If you are considering a career switch, I think the two-year program can be particularly helpful in that case because you can try something for the summer in that new area of interest, see how that goes, and then you can really use your second year, which is predominantly elective courses, to really round out your skill set in a number of areas that might be helpful in that new field. So I think we see more people who are considering a career switch or a career shift use the two-year MBA program to meet those goals. And then I think for others who are perhaps continuing on in their current field or their current area of interest, perhaps the one-year program makes more sense. So at Stanford, we have two master's programs. We have a two-year full-time MBA program. It takes in approximately 400 students every year, and they are at various points in their career. So some come very early on in their careers, and some might come with 10, 15, or even 20 more years of work experience. Then we also have a one-year Master's of Science in Management for experienced leaders. We call that the MSX program. And as the name would suggest, it is for more experienced leaders, typically mid-career professionals that have at least 8 years of full-time work experience, but on average they tend to have more, 11 to 12 years of work experience. Again, with the two-year full-time MBA program, we do tend to see a few more career switchers in that cohort versus the one-year Master's of Science program, but both programs are general management in focus and really try to ground you in all of the general management disciplines like finance and marketing and accounting and strategy, etc., so that you're really best prepared for the life of your career. So as you are considering making this very large investment in your education, obviously it's a large investment of time, of energy, and dollars, you should inquire about the various financial aid programs that schools offer, because some of them are very generous. I can speak to Stanford's program in particular. It's the same process for international students as it is for U.S. domestic students, so you're not at any sort of disadvantage if you're an international student applying to our MBA program. Financial aid for us is all need-based, so it's different for every single person based on your particular situation, and it's going to be a mix of things. It's going to be some fellowships or scholarships, free money you do not need to repay, as well as U.S. educational loans that do not require a U.S. cosigner, and presumably you would need to repay those U.S. educational loans unless you decide to do something in the social sector. Anywhere in the world, at any point in your career, if you would like to work for a nonprofit organization or work for the government, and if you still have debt from your time at the Stanford Graduate School of Business, those loans will be forgiven for every year of service that you have at that qualifying organization. So there is a very generous loan forgiveness program for people who have an interest in the social sector. I think if you have had a chance to look at Stanford's website in particular, you'll notice that our motto is change lives, change organizations, change the world. And I think the experience at the Stanford Graduate School of Business really prepares you to do each of those things, but really that change starts with you during that educational experience. And we want to teach you not just what to think, but how to think, really, how to think more critically and more innovatively and more globally, and also just to be a bit more self-reflective. So we really hope that at the end of this educational experience, you're not just a manager, but also a better leader, and we hope even a better person. That's sort of what we strive for in our programs.